A year or so ago, a friend of mine was on a train journey in Europe. It was quite a long train journey, and he found himself in a near empty carriage, sitting opposite another passenger, sort of university-age students. So then they got talking as the train rumbled through the countryside. And in the course of the conversation, my friend asked this student what he was studying at university. Environmental science, came the reply, to which my friend went, "Wow, what an amazing subject. Why did you choose to study that?" At which this student became really animated. He said, "Well, the world is facing a climate crisis. Environment and ecology are so important, and so that's why I'm studying the subject, so I can make a difference." To which my friend sort of smiled politely and said, "Oh, okay, well, but why does the environment matter?" The student sort of just looked utterly stunned. Went, well, it's obvious, isn't it? My friend went, "Well, let's assume for a second it isn't. Tell me, why does it matter?" And the student said, "Well, because there's an environmental crisis." And my friend said, "Well, yeah, you've said that, but why should we be concerned?" And for about 10 minutes, the conversation went round in this little loop with the student sort of basically repeating his assertion that really was important, and my friend just, playing the small child asking why questions. And at the end, what was interesting, my friend was able to say, "Look," he said, I'm a Christian and I care deeply about the environment, but there's a reason why that I think it matters. But it's interesting that you're studying ecology, but you haven't really been able to give me a reason." And we'll come to the Christian piece in a moment. See, what's interesting is that need to ground environmentalism has been a concern of the Green Movement for some years. Our media is full of stories of climate chaos and environmental catastrophe. We're told we should care. We're told that we should radically change our lifestyles, switch to electric cars, install air source heat pumps and radically change our lifestyles, reduce our consumption. But of course, we can ask the question, why? And for the last few decades, the environmental movement has tried to find a secular reason for that why. So sometimes the environmental movement has appealed to our emotions. Guilt, for example. Greta Thunberg is famous for going this route, sternly telling you that we're wrecking the planet for future generations. Other environmental campaigns go the compassion route. They'll show you pictures of cute little baby animals and try and tug on your heartstrings. But while I get the temptation to appeal to emotion, of course that's a terrible foundation for environmentalism, because what if you don't feel the emotion? Other campaigns will appeal to our naked self-interest. We should care about sea level rise because it will affect human towns and cities. We should care about the collapse in bees and insects because they pollinate our fruit and our crops, and mankind will suffer if this carries on. But the problem in all of that approach is, of course, what happens if the piece of nature we're concerned about has no instrumental value to humankind? I mean, ultimately, what difference does it make if a mountain is there or it isn't? Unless we can find a justification for how this piece of nature benefits us, then potentially it's fair game for us just destroying it. And so it goes on. And more I've noticed that the attempts and the foundations that are offered for environmentalism fail. But deep down, we know that nature matters. Deep down, we know that the environment is something we should be concerned about, but I think many of us have never actually stopped and thought about why. Well, back to my friend on the train. He was able to share with that university student that actually the Bible and the Christian faith offers an incredibly powerful foundation for care for the environment. Because unlike atheism, which tells us that this world, no matter how beautiful it may be, is ultimately just atoms and particles in motion, as are we, and ultimately it'll all burn up in the heat death at the end of the universe. It's all destined for destruction. The Bible says, well, no, this world is not some random accident, but actually is God's good gift to us. If you read the first book of the Bible, the book of Genesis, repeatedly God describes the world that he has made and given to us as a gift as good. And if you take that message seriously, that gives you both a foundation for understanding why nature matters, because it's God's gift to us. It also tells you a lot about the God who gave it to us, because gifts tell us a lot about the giver. And also it gives us a basis and a foundation for responsibility, because when someone gives you a good gift, the natural response, if you are functioning normally, is to treat it with care and to look after it. I do think nature matters. I'm a passionate environmentalist, but the reason for that is because I believe in the God of the Bible. If you care about nature and the environment, maybe you should give God another look too.